Well, hey there, team, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to a bit more Stationeers. So we're back into it. Everything's going well. I appreciate everyone's help regarding the power system. Everything's... Now, you got to remember, this is also a prototyping space. Like, if you can just step back and look at it, this is a ramshackle arrangement. So people suggesting that I add more panels, absolutely. But that's the same as like saying if I do anything to this grow room. The grow room is functional. The panel is functional. What's going to happen is we're not going to add... I think someone was saying, hey, move the generator and all that. And, the generator was just to shore up the power grid. Like, might as well, we had the coal. And that's a shitload of power, by the way, for reference. Like, we're not going to run out anytime soon. That's not what this space sort of is, I suppose. We won't be moving that generator. We'll be leaving this whole thing. In fact, when we go building this base over here, we'll probably integrate... people suggested like solar panels on the roof sort of scenario. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense to me. So we'll probably, you know, cover our bloody roof with a solar panel solution there. So that'll be like our phase 2 of working through it. And yeah, and we're talking about capturing gases and all that sort of stuff. Oh God, I hope I didn't have to mine during the day because the daylight, it's gone. Okay, so I'm going to eat a quick potato before the game yells at me. Love a good potato. But yeah, we're essentially at that sort of crossing point. We can shore up the mining operation. That's something that I am keen to do. And I sort of feel like maybe we do that before we start the sort of the base proper. Just because, like, in my mind, that's sort of a phase 2 movement. You know what I mean? Like, let's get some more fundamentals locked down. And I think using the ground radar in conjunction with that for drilling holes is the go. What was the other thing? Oh, someone was querying about sort of the pressure here. The only reason I look at the pressure is that there's a minimum pressure that you need to grow these things. I think it might be 10, 15 kPa, I can't remember. But that's a whole problem, because if you have a look at our external stats down there, we're at 2 kPa. That's the issue with Mars. We do have an atmosphere, but it's negligible because of the density, you know, or the pressure, right? And every time that I go and close this door and open this door to do rounds, in fact, I might as well just do them now because it's nighttime. Because we're taking a room that's in, this is essentially vacuum, the room we're standing in. It's 2 kPa, atmospheric. So as soon as I open this up, I'm halving the pressure in that system. So I think, if I read it correctly, someone was querying about the pressure, and it's not that I'm worried about putting too much pressure in there, though I think around 150 kPa the walls will start to bust off, so let's say that's our ceiling. It's more that I'm trying to put it in as little as possible, or rather I'm trying to stay above the minimum threshold. The real problem with that, and why I'm not just pumping air in willy-nilly, is that the pipes, generally speaking, even without a radiator, cool very quickly, and if I were to just dump all this air in here, we'll probably drop below the temperature threshold for the plants because they have to be above about 14 or 15 degrees. So that's sort of why I feather it and why I'm so gentle. But we're getting to a point where we've actually got a fair bit of fairly warm air in the pipes behind there, and they're not cooling as rapidly as I have experienced on the moon. So it's all very interesting. Anyway, external, 27 degrees. We're approaching too hot. There is too hot, and it's in the 30 sort of range. But the point is, if it can go from bloody 16 degrees to 27 degrees in one day, right? We can't have 27 degree heat in here because it'll be bloody 38 degrees or something like that when we do the rounds tomorrow, and it'll kill our plants. Anyway, I hope that offers a little bit more clarity. Remember, I've been playing this game for a long time. I'm no expert, but I've got my rhythm, and there's a reason I do it. So if I'm brushing over stuff for the newer guys, I apologize. I don't mean to. So that's already set outward because we were feathering away before, so we're just going to give it a little squeeze. Yeah, so we're actually starting to run into a little bit of a problem. Well, it's not a problem, but we're cognizant of it, right? 30 kPa. As we said, my suit enjoys 50, but that's a suit as well. You don't necessarily need 50. Oh. Is that empty? Okay. We have an interesting issue. That's all the air in our pipes. Okay, cool. Well, 29 and 23, we can work with that. So what we're going to do is take some more in. We'll take quite a bit in, actually. Apparently the pipes can take a whole shitload, like 5 megapascals or something. I can't remember exactly, but we don't need to be too worried just yet, I don't think. Alright. That's interesting. After all that ranting, we've managed to... Negative 4.7. Okay, well, there we go. That's definitely going to be cold. We might actually take this opportunity to... I might have overdone it a little bit. But we definitely need to cool that air. Oh, hang on. What's happened here? I've done something wrong. I've lost air somewhere. What did I do? Maybe when I was talking I overlooked something? Maybe when I was drawing air in there I didn't have this door shut or something? This is very strange. Why has the temperature dropped so much? Interesting. Now I'm pretty certain this is going to be too cold. Look at that. Well too cold. Okay. We've made a boo-boo. I mean, drawing in all that air, I guess it had to happen, you know? But we're going to have to warm this up. Not sure what I did there. Okay. But we fixed it. That's what matters. Had to use a flare, but we fixed it. 8 degrees, yeah. Okay. I mean, I get that I cooled the pipes for sure, but not 100% sure what went. It could be just because I opened it twice and halved the pressure twice and brought that temperature out as well. That's possibly what's happened there too. Interesting. But it did need a rejigging anyway because it was getting too warm. I wasn't cooling the system. So, however, it still worked out and we've got some fairly cool air in here and that's a nice temperature in there too. Having said that, did I even harvest the potatoes after all that? I don't think I did. But at least we fixed the atmosphere because it was creeping up. We weren't actually injecting enough cool air into the system on the sort of trajectory we're on. But that's the whole point. This is just a ramshackle job that's going to do the job for the time being. Anyway, ground penetrating radar. I can't recall if we got around to researching that or not. It's not going to be automation. GPS systems. Mining technology. Could be in here then. Not mining technology. Basic prospecting. Here we go. Ore scanner, ground penetrating radar. Cool. So that's what we need. We need a research for that. We've done this dance before. Red. 1 gold, 2 copper. Nope. Oops. Probably don't need that. Oh, yeah, the research system's interesting. It's a bit... like, I don't mind using it like, it makes sense. Research is a big part of the sort of growth in any sort of game, help you familiarise with mechanics. But it does kind of feel like an embuggerance at the moment. I haven't necessarily thought about how you would implement tech trees and research in general. But, I don't know, like, at a glance, what's the point of it? Usually, wouldn't it be that the game actually is pretty good on its own without the research? It's just interesting, but it seems like an unpleasant game mechanic at the moment. So there's something wrong with it, I feel, but I can't put my finger on it because this sort of system exists in so many games. I don't know, I'm curious what people have to say. Oh, you know what? I didn't actually designate my research. Basic prospecting. Confirm. Ground. Ground penetrating radar. Now, what are you going to take? Steel, 10 gold and 2 copper. That's okay, we can do that. $10 gold, eh? Big call. Alright. Let that cook away. Yeah, everything's tracking away like normal. Very good. Yeah, I appreciate the suggestions. Don't, you know, I'm not rebuking them whole cloth. I will shore up the grid, but not in this form. We'll essentially run it onto a rooftop and not interfere with it. But getting this mining solution sorted, I think, is key. At the very least, to sort of fully understand maybe how to use what the devs have implemented there. I think someone suggested even placing one of those on top of a deposit. I don't think that's the point of it, because you should just dig that deposit out manually. It's not that hard to dig a deposit that you can see. The real problem in this game, from what I can understand, is finding the deposit. So the ground penetrating radar has some functionality, and it's fairly limited in that its range is quite small. It basically relays to your iPad and sends a signal of its radius sort of thing, and it's not that good. But like, intentionally, its radius is quite poor, so it's hard to just go prospecting, pick it up, drop it, turn it on, that sort of thing. So I really do feel like the idea is dig a hole, put it in the hole, take the readings from the hole. You've got like a 3-dimensional reading of that radius at that point. And then even if it tells you nothing, if it tells you that there's nothing there, there is something to be said about that. That tells you to dig a hole further away. You know what I mean? So like, all data is helpful data. So that's it there, but we're also going to need a chip for it as well.
Power low.
Maybe it's like ore scanner. There we go. 3 gold, 5 copper. Okay, we can do that.
Hunger caution.
Christ, lady. Leave me alone. Alright, let's get this battery situation going. How's that going over there? So that does charge off of it, but this battery draws more. Right. So it's probably the smart money is to do this. I think someone might have also been suggesting putting this behind that power source. That defeats the point. For, like, it needs to be its own independent power source. If this went out for whatever reason, if it exploded, I need to also swap my battery, right? Oh, hang on, I just didn't. I was going to say, I thought we're short of battery. Okay, cool. So that's something that they're going to... I think you can actually console command add in, like, events, like shit going sideways in your game, disasters. And that's something we toyed about when I was trying to make a base that was sort of like redundant and trouble-proof in a way. And it's like, how about we sabotage the base and blow it up a bit, and then see how we can react. I still find that to be a fascinating thing that we could look at. But yeah, I love redundancy. I love building it into all my systems, and that's why those grids are separate. Because if something went wrong with the battery, we'd want them separate. All right, ore scanner. So, I don't believe we dug. Did we dig the whole hole out? Caught a filter there. That looks nightmarish, doesn't it?
Jetpack on.
We haven't quite hit bedrock. That's okay. So, for this. Oh, he needs a battery, doesn't he? Oh, I guess we can leave you down here, sir.
Jetpack on.
And it depends on its range and what sort of info it's going to give you. Because you could scan at the top of the hole and the bottom, but you could also click a little divot in the side to dig out there. Oh my god. What? Just why, game? Like, why do you bloody launch me? Okay.
Jetpack on.
Alright. Insert battery. Oh. Well, at least the battery sort of stays in there. That's cool. I don't like standing next to this big bloody chewy drill so much. But here we are, I guess. No, we want R, not on. And I'll just put that in my pocket. Right, ore scanner. Should be able to turn that on. Give it a pulse. In use. There we go. Is the flashing red the scanner? Ah, okay, cool. Nice.
Jetpack on.
This is what we're talking about. This is good. It seems to go all the way up. Nice. This is the sort of prospecting I'm all about, guys. Digging a mine shaft. Look at that. You can see all the ore nodes. Alright, this is working out really well. What we might do next is, if I pick that up, is it off still? No, it's not, so I'll turn that off. Success, team! Alright, so, what if we, geez, my backpack's starting to get a bit busy, isn't it? What if we get this... I guess there's no real harm in putting a large battery cell.
Jetpack on.
Oh, it just gets going straight away. Cool, so we'll keep that digging. Oops, sorry. And yeah, and then once that sort of hole is prospected and dug, I mean, we could deconstruct this and move it along and start digging somewhere else if need be, but that radar seems to penetrate potential, like, if we want to think of this as one sort of square, and it's kind of not, it's kind of 2 by 2, the hole that it digs. And the space it takes up as well. Oh, well, it's sort of like a 1 by 2, and then we got that. But, like, I think it scans beyond 2 by 2, perhaps, even. You know what I mean? So, we could sort of use that to try and figure out, instead of, like, we wouldn't necessarily dig a hole right here in this 2x2, we'd skip that 2x2 and then maybe do the next hole. But then again, the scanner would do its adjacent one as well, so you could probably skip 2. You know? Because this definitely, at the very least, it seems to scan 1 hole adjacent. We'll have to figure, so that's the thing, we'll figure out the range. So if it's scanning sort of 2 grid squares adjacent all around, then we would skip, say, like 4 grid squares across and drill there, because that would, the radar in the hole then would give us 2 grid squares adjacent to that as well. So there's something to be said there, I think. So it's cool. So it's less about what this actually digs out and more about the hole that it digs. I'm pretty happy with that, which means we're probably going to move on to our sort of next stage. Let's do the rounds here because we were having issues. I mean, the potatoes aren't dead, so that's like, at the end of the day, that's a win. And you can see their health bar is reduced from when I stuffed it up. It hasn't moved since then. See, 10 kPa, they seem happy enough at that, but I don't think you can really go much lower, to be honest. So, set outward. $16 kPa, 19 degrees. We'll go with that. That's fine. Alright, so we're back to business as usual there. Alright, cool. So, chuck these in storage. Now we can start working on our base, I suppose. Now, there actually, we discussed this, there are airlock doors. A lot of us thought that airlocks weren't in the game anymore, but turns out they are. Oh, you know what? It'll be in my pneumatics one. Kit airlock, right? Now what are you going to take? Iron and copper. Okay. 20 iron and 3 copper. Couldn't hurt to cook all of that. I think we probably needed 15. Yeah. So let's have a look at what's so special about the airlock door these days. We might need to refill our oxygen at some point. But that's alright. That's not that far off. We've still got plenty of pressure of that. Yeah, airlock, tell me. Because I think there's blast doors as well, though I haven't really had anything to do with them. It's still going. Oh wait, is that an error? Maybe that is. Maybe it has hit bedrock and stopped. I guess we'll find out. We'll go over there and have a look in a sec. I'll just babysit this real quick. Yep, so look, at the moment we're sitting pretty comfy in a lot of departments, in a lot of ways. I think it's probably safe to say that we've got food, we've got power, and we've got our mining capacity sort of pretty much done. Also construction research is required. Yeah, so this is the old airlock. Okay, cool. I guess they just moved it. This used to be in the starter kit. I'm gonna leave a grace spot there, and you want the power internal, so we'll do that. So that's gonna be our front door to our new base. How exciting! We'll build the other one shortly. All right, so what's going on here?
Jetpack on.
It's pulled back up and it's hit bedrock. Very good. So we can turn you off. Do I still have my gear? I do. Down we go, I suppose. Oh, a bit of gold. How good's that? Alright. Can you get hurt by that bedrock? Oh. Did I get hurt then? I can't tell. No. Okay, that's fine. Alright. Boom. And boom. And then... put this bloke in one hand. Put this bloke in the other.
Jetpack on.
Oh, okay. That's the bottom of the world. I don't love how it... like, what are you doing? You're scanning down there, sort of thing. You know what I mean? I find it very hard to read the way that it outputs. Anyway, so let's see. Have we lost the signal? Okay, interesting. Okay. So it's just going to take some practice of figuring out how to read this thing properly. Okay, cool. Cool, we got the gist of it, for sure. How nice is this? So this is going to be a big help. Anyway, we can turn that off. Definitely going through the, well, I mean, our propellant's not slowing down anytime soon. We got so much, it's just not it's crazy, actually. Yeah. Alright, cool. Very good. Made some big progress there, so we can do mining ops like that. You can get a better version of that detector that has like colors, so, but that requires some serious endgame shit. Like that's not something that's viable at the moment. We're not doing that. You got to make some crazy alloys that we haven't even looked at. Team, thanks again for joining me. We might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.